Oh, hello everybody. The next chapter we're going to do is on rational expressions and functions. And remember, the function is when we use the f of x notation. Well, then the lesson one is to simplify rational expressions. Here's a definition for the rational expression. So, rational expression basically is a fraction in terms of polynomial. So, definition is it is the quotient means the division of two polynomials like this, a over b. And we also know in the fraction the denominator cannot be 0 because at b equals 0 the whole thing will be undefined. And it could be monomial divided by monomial. It could be binomial divided by binomial. If this is binomial, the denominator is x minus 4. And again, the denominator cannot be 0. Well, this means, think about it, what minus 4 is 0? So 4. So 4 minus 4 is 0. This means at x equals 4, your rational expression will be undefined. And it could be trinomial as well. So today the focus is only simplifying. So you have a monomial divided by monomial, and some problems we have a binomial divided by binomial. Tomorrow probably we can do some trinomials. So make a note to simplify rational expressions. So we need to follow those steps. The first step is you factor the top and the bottom. Make sure do not cancel anything. You always factor top and the bottom. And number two, you cancel the common, which is identical factor. When common is identical, mean it must be exactly the same. And also remember, do not factor the monomial. When it's a monomial, we can always use the division rule of exponent, which is you can keep the base and subtract the powers. Okay, so let me show you some examples how we simplify rational expressions. So, for example, this. So make sure the direction going to be simplified. So example 1. So if somebody gave you this, x minus 3 times x plus 2 over x minus 3. So this case, the first one is always a factor. But if you read first one, this is already factored. X minus 3 times, when you see it times, the top is already factored. And the bottom x minus 3 is the prime, because x minus 3 we cannot factor at all. Well, then we move to cancellation part, cancel. So which factor is identical here? X minus 3. Remember, it must have exactly the same thing. X minus 3, x minus 3. If this is x plus 3, we cannot cancel. So this means that's to cancel the common factors. So the answer is x plus 2. And some people write x plus 2 over 1, but you don't have to. So that's the answer here. Here is example 2. So for example, somebody gave you this 6x squared y7 over 12x5 y to the power 2. That's your monomial divided by monomial. So remember, we do not factor the monomial because we already know from last year, chapter 10, how we divide exponents. So we can simply keep the base and subtract the powers. So here 6 divided by 12, 12 is bigger. This means 2 gonna stay at the bottom. 6 divided by 12 is half. So you can always write 1 over 2. And the same rule is keep the base, subtract the power. And we're gonna use the same trick. We keep the base where the power is bigger. So five is bigger. This means x gonna stay at the bottom. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. Y 7 versus 2, y gonna stay on the top. 7 minus 2 is 5. And that's it. So keep in mind, monomial divided by monomial we know already, which is keep the base and subtract the power, and always keep the base where the exponent is bigger. And here is one more example. Example 3, for example, we can do one binomial. So simplify 12x plus 24 divided by 15x plus 30. That's your binomial divided by binomial. So what do you do first? We factor the top and the bottom. So if you remember how you factor the binomial, we always take the greatest common factor. So what did you see from the top? 6. So you factor, so now this is 12 divided by 6, so it will become 2x. and 12 times 2. So in this case 12 is, 12 is the greatest common factor. So 12 is the GCF, so is the x plus 2 here. So remember, do not go with the GCF, we're going to go, we're going to go with the common factor. We always take the GCF, the greatest common factor. If you do not take GCF, they're going to be x step. So to make it shorter, always take GCF. So slow down a little bit. So 12 is a GCF. Well, then 12 is gone, x, and 24 divided by 12 is 2. So in the denominator, what the GCF? 15. So it's 15 is GCF. What is left over here is x plus, and 15 times what give you 32. Or you can go 30 divided by 15. So now we're going to simplify. So fraction you always simplify just like GCF again. So what is the common factor here? X plus 2 is gone. And 12 and 15, what is GCF? So can we use 3? Yeah. So 3 is the GCF. What is 12 divided by 3 is 4. What is 15 divided by 3 is 5. And that's your final answer, 4 over 5. Okay. Let me show you one more example, one last one. But remember, your homework is only monomial divided by monomial and binomial divided by binomial. There's no trinomial. If it's a trinomial, we can use always the x method, which is tomorrow. So here is one more example. You can say example number 4. Simplify. This is 8x squared minus 16x. That's the binomial, GCF. How you factor binomial, GCF. And the denominator is 6x squared minus 12x. 6x squared minus 12x. Okay. So first step, remember, do not do anything. Just factor. Factor top and the bottom. And keep in mind, the binomial, we always use the greatest common factors. So now keep in mind, if there's a variable, so we always take the smaller power out. X coming out for sure. 8 and 16. What is the GCF? 8x. So 8x is the GCF. Well, then the leftover is x minus 2. Okay, that's the top. And the bottom, we know x is coming out. So the denominator 6 is coming out. Or the smaller power always goes out. So x is coming out. And then 6, so give us x minus 2. Okay, that's the first step. Factor top and the bottom carefully. Well, now the second step is we always cancel the common factor, then we can simplify the fraction. So you can see the x divided by x is gone and x minus, so the whole thing is gone. So from here, so leftover is just, this is the x is gone too. 8 over 6, the GCF, I simplify 8 over 6. So just divide by 2, GCF is 2. So then what is the 8 divided by 2? Half. So it's 4 over 3, and that's the answer. Okay, so your homework has like 10 problems, and mostly they are monomial divided by monomial and binomial divided by binomial. There's no trinomial. And tomorrow, quickly like 10 practice problem, we can use the trinomials. Okay, thank you. We'll see you soon.